What is up, everyone? We are back for another real review. Once again, I am lucky enough to be joined by the Jeff Alterman as we dive into the newest release, the newest major release. And we have Jeff back next week, which I'm really excited talking about that one. But we're here to talk to you guys about none other than Jurassic World Rebirth, the movie that I think most people would say they didn't ask for after the last two Jurassic World movies.
Yeah, you say that, and yet, like, post theater openings from lockdown and whatnot, Jurassic World Dominion still nearly hit $1 billion.
I know.
think that was like without a lot of China help at that time.
I think it was with the ton of China help. We'll double check that, but continue.
Yeah, because I remember it was like a very similar like thing to like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where it got like just shy, but I don't think China's box office was, because it was still China's box office post COVID has been very funky.
It hit
for US.
It hit $1 billion, and it did 325 international.
Yeah, which is, yeah. Anyways, that's what we're here to talk about is the box office, right? This is Jurassic World Rebirth. This is the 7th Jurassic film in this franchise. I am not the biggest fan of the series. That's what I'll say. I think that Jurassic Park is, of course, one of the great blockbusters. And because it's one of the great blockbusters, it's it's one of the best movies of the 90s, which means, of course, that means it's probably one of the best movies of all time. That's how you kind of break that down, right? I mildly enjoy Jurassic Park 3, I guess.
You skipping over Lost World?
I was going to then say, but as for the rest of them, and even pretty much Jurassic Park 3, there are no good Jurassic sequels. Not even Steven Spielberg could recapture the magic, that feeling of the first one. I saw this film in a packed theater. There were a lot of kids that were brought to it, and what I'll say is that kids in that theater, they were enjoying themselves. What do you think? What do you think about it, Matt? What should we set it up about what the general plot is?
Yes, let's set it up general plot wise, where essentially, instead of InGen being a thing, because now we find out in this film they fired for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, you now have a pharmaceutical company hires a mercenary played by Scarlett Johansson to go on a retrieval mission with a civilian professor played by Jonathan Bailey to go and retrieve the DNA of 3 dinosaurs that will help them make this miracle
drug
heart medicine.
Yeah,
that will help cure not cure heart disease, but help people fight it and get an extra 20 years of life. But of course, her being a mercenary, she has her team of people that she likes to work with. Her crew, chief among them being Mahershala Ali, and the rest are cannon fodder, let's be honest. But yeah, so we end up having a subplot, because it's always got to have a subplot in Jurassic where there's a family involved. We get a father on a trip with her 2 daughters and the oldest daughter's boyfriend sailing across the Atlantic, and their trip goes to hell when a mosasaur attacks and capsizes their boat.
These 2 groups end up crossing paths.
Yes,
and they all survive as dinosaurs try and pick them off.
Yes,
as is they want to do in a Jurassic film.
Yes, and at that point, once they arrive to the island, it is a full-on Jurassic film. To mixed results is what I'll say.
Yes,
there are sequences I love. There are sequences I'm not the biggest fan of. There are things in this film, marketing-wise, that they have done that don't really pay off. I'm looking at you, Xenomorph Dino. And yeah, I'll be upfront. I've seen this movie twice now because I went to the Screen Unseen AMC or
Those secret screenings that they do on a Monday.
yeah, I went to the secret screening last week, and this happened to be the movie, and then I had my press screening today. So I've seen the film twice. So I've really had time to. I've seen it twice, solidify my thoughts compared to just Jeff, who's just seeing it for the first time now. And what I can say is, I believe this is a very fun at times, but ultimately forgettable film.
I have said to many people many times over the past many years, and here on this video already, I do not like the Jurassic sequels. I don't think that there's any that's actually good. I don't think there's any. I think pretty much they're all varying degrees of not good. From Jurassic Park 3, which is like, all right, fine, I guess, B minus ish. It's kind of a fun creature feature thing, but like it leaves no impact on you, and you shouldn't have a movie that costs that much money to leave zero impact on you. The rest of them are all varying degrees of bad. Most notably, the Jurassic.
I would disagree on the first Jurassic World, but otherwise, yes, I would agree.
Yeah, Jurassic World's bad, and then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is worse, and then Jurassic World Dominion is just it's dog shit. I'm sorry. I just.
There's no sugarcoating it.
It's really bad. Then comes Jurassic World Rebirth, and here's what I'll say: I went into this movie with zero expectations.
Just dreading it.
And there were two things that I was looking forward to with this film. One of them is, even if it's a movie of his that I'm not a big fan of, like Gareth Edwards, like I'm not wild about the creator, but
I am.
I think that it is a gorgeous film that feels like just like incredibly like produced. This incredible sense of scale that he brings to it, like that bigness that you feel in Rogue One, and like the way that they're able to shoot stuff in Godzilla, the 2014 one. I really like a lot of the stuff from there. Even if I don't love that movie, I like a lot of the stuff that it does in it. I was looking forward to Gareth Edwards and what he would do with this film, and I was looking forward to just seeing Mahershala Ali in a movie again, because it's been a bit, because he's been in Marvel Purgatory. Yeah. At least that's what I'm assuming is the main reason. It seems like it would make sense.
I believe you're correct. Let's keep
moving. Yeah. So of those things that I was looking forward to, I do not think that this showed off his sense of scale. Those dinosaurs are big. They sure are. Big, just like the other ones.
I would say there was two moments where you felt like you got the Gareth Edwards sense of scale, and it's the deathbed moment and the
I actually disagree with the deathbed moment, which is just it. When he says death, it's a line of dialogue someone says, and it ends up being a cast off sort of line of dialogue. It's not even super important. There's a lot of moments where it feels like there's a huge thing that you should be able to see, but then there is a person or a thing in the center of the frame that obstructs the majority of what you might be able to see. And maybe it's because it might be scarier because it's a dinosaur thing, or maybe it's more interesting, the idea of like leaving it to the imagination, but it ends up being distracting to me, where it takes away from the possibility of experiencing something so big. So I don't actually think that Edwards really brought much to this movie that, was what I thought would help make it stand out. He does this thing with like how big things can be. He makes it so that it feels like it's like it strikes you with this sense of awe, which is something that has been lacking really since Spielberg's first attempt, because he missed out on it on the second time when he tried. And here, like there's a scene in it where it's like, oh man, yes, it's this wonderful imagery of the dinosaur and whatnot. Like the character is reacting with awe. I'm not.
That's the Titanosaur.
I'm not. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's amazing, and it's like, oh wow, I think that the music is kind of chintzy in this scene
Yes.
actually, and oh, everything is like really tall grass around, so he's reacting, but there's all this grass in the way, so
Yep.
it's like you're not. It's like once again, things are obstructing the view. It's weird. So there's that. Mahershala Ali, I'm just glad. I'm so glad he got paid.
Listen, I up until recently, I used to say Mahershala. The reason I had faith in this film is because Mahershala Ali doesn't do shit. Then I recently rewatched the last two Hunger Games films from the main movies. I'm like, oh my god, I've totally forgot Mahershala Ali has done shit. So going into seeing this movie, I was like, oh god, is this shit? I can't like. I used to have whenever
Those
I
Hunger
saw
Game
Mahershala.
movies were before his first Oscar, though. So I mean, like,
Yeah, but he still did shit. Like,
lots of
like
Oscar winners do shit after they get an Oscar.
before. And anyways, but like for me, it was for whenever I've seen Mahershala on, even before his Oscars, whenever I've seen him on a project, it's almost been like a seal of approval. Approval that this thing is going to be pretty freaking solid.
Yeah.
And it's just not. Now, I will say, I did enjoy Jonathan Bailey in this. I'm a big Bailey stan, and he is arguably the best part of this film, in my opinion.
I think that he brings what the character should have. I think that the writing fails him.
Yes, but
Uh,
that's his performance goes past
yeah.
the writing, which is
His
why I'm giving
performance
him
might
more.
go past it a bit. I don't think it does it enough. But that's whatever. The whole movie is basically like that's whatever, which compared to the last few movies,
This is an
kind of
improvement.
an improvement. Um, I would say that, I mean, honestly, and I kind of like, I did not like him, the character, which is of the family. There's this girl's boyfriend, and
Okay,
he's
cool. I hated that character too.
he is. I found him to be annoying.
Yes.
I found him to be like, like just sort of like, I didn't enjoy, what he brought to the table. However, for whatever reason, he'd have these moments that feel like a comic relief thing that was somehow both obnoxious and also kind of worked for me in those brief instances. And maybe it's because I found the rest of the movie so flat that his moment of like getting something out of me might stick out more. Like there's a moment that seems like it should be really scary, and then he breaks it. He breaks the tension in a way where I'm like, okay, this is kind of funny actually. Like it happens a few times. Other times he's pretty obnoxious. Most of these people
Are
are.
you talking about the nighttime scene?
Yeah, there's a scene at night where it's like, oh, it's like this tension and like, oh, it's scary, and then suddenly the tension gets broken in a way where I'm like, okay,
Yeah, that was probably the one scene where I'm like, all
yeah.
right, you've done something here.
So, but overall, I mean, like, Scarlett Johansson, she's in the movie.
She got paid.
She got paid. Rupert Friend, he showed up in the movie at the beginning, and I'm like, you're the bad rich guy in this story. Because these Jurassic movies have to have a really rich evil guy, and
Yeah.
he plays that role. At one point, I was like, "Oh my god, that's Ed Skrein, the bad guy
Yep. From
like
Deadpool
from the first Deadpool."
and of
And
Game of Thrones fame.
yeah, and Darren Harris, and to a certain subsect of the internet, he is the villain from Rebel Moon.
Oh no.
Um, and what I'll say about Ed Skrein is, the joke that we just said about, oh, Scarlett Johansson, she's in the movie. Yeah, Ed Skrein's definitely in the movie. He showed up.
Well, you'll understand that when you see it. But yeah, I felt the same way. I was literally, I'm sitting there, I'm like, God damn it, I'm tired of it. Like I've grown tired of
Yeah.
Ed Skrein. And like just
I don't mind him. There's a movie that he started on Netflix I liked quite a bit. I think that he's just
Rebel
not being
Moon. That's
used.
what it is.
No, not that one. I used to be famous. He can be good when given material that works, but they want him to be like a British Jai Courtney when Jai Courtney was at the height of people trying to shove him into stuff. They're trying to make him the next Sam Worthington. And I'm saying this all in that he keeps being thrown in like bigger budget stuff, makes zero impact, and then we're gonna find out in 10 years that he's good at playing the weird guy.
Fair.
Because that's what's happening with Jai Courtney, and that's what happened with Sam Worthington. Um, but yeah, like we're just listing actors because I mean, like, we could talk about the movie, but I mean, like, look, I actually don't mind the setup of the story.
No, I don't either.
I mean, part of the thing that I do mind is I think that it's fucking batshit that this is now like more than one movie in a row where they're like, people are bored of dinosaurs now. What?
Can we
Are they not bored of the other animals? Why is the zoo industry still flourishing, but not dinosaurs?
Yeah,
It's been 5 years. What?
I do want to touch on that. I felt like this film fixed my biggest issue with the last two Jurassic films early on. By
Got rid of Colin Trevorrow.
Well, besides that, they just replaced the near Star Wars director with the Star Wars director. No, it was the dinosaurs on mainland issue. It's one of the things I hated most about the last two Jurassic films. And I'm not going to go into how they fix it.
Yeah,
but that's one of the positives I do have for this film is that it's what they say makes logical sense.
sure. I mean, yeah, like some of that stuff actually does make sense in a way. Then there's other stuff where it's like, why? We are 7 movies into this. Why are we still trying to tell a story that involves gene splicing dinosaurs?
Yes.
Why is that anything? Why it's like they like let's try and make a gene splice dinosaur. We're gonna abandon it, and it just is like,
Sitting
what
on
kind of
the
dinosaur
island.
is it? I don't know. It's a Cloverfield monster. Like,
It's a xenomorph. That's what they compared it to. All promotional tours.
yeah, well, you know what? The promotional tour isn't the movie. The movie is just like it's a Cloverfield thing. It's a monster that you're gonna see in the background of like a Netflix troll movie or something. It's like it looks like a creature that you would have driven past in the final scene of Stephen King's The Mist. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it reminds me a lot of that. And I don't necessarily mean that positively. And The Mist, I love The Mist, but what I mean is, it's just like it's like, oh, look, it looks weird, and then like you don't ever see it in a way where you're able to understand its anatomy or like what it can really do. It's just sort of a monster.
It's just there.
It's just a big monster that's mostly in shadow, and like,
that was one of my complaints up top. I said is how they did this big bad, because like even my buddy and I are talking about this. Even though the T-Rex is just there at points through Jurassic World, you still feel its presence, wondering when the next time is you're going to see it. How they use this gene spliced dino, it just doesn't work. It really doesn't.
yeah, I think it's. I mean, like Jurassic World. I'm not a fan of it, but at least it was like, all right, well, splicing can like create this thing at least, and then it leaves an impact.
Yes.
And at least, like, even if the special effects aren't amazing there, at least it's in the fucking daytime where you can see it.
Yep.
Like, it took me a while to realize
it's the Venom issue, where Venom's entire like even in Venom 3, I can't remember Venom 2. Actually, yeah, most of Venom's action sequences take place in the dark. Why? Because they can cheap out on special effects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, although I think Venom looks better than any of these dinosaurs. One thing that I would say is, if we keep mentioning the promotional thing, and I think it's mostly because like it might inform us of the mentality they had going into this, which is that movie made $1 billion, the last one. So now let's do something to try and get people to still be interested, despite the fact that every time we make a Jurassic World movie, it's worse than the last. Well, good job, guys. You made a Jurassic World movie that isn't as bad as the last two.
And with that, Jeff, what are you going to rate this film?
I'm going to give it a 2. which is honestly a miracle considering where Universal have been steering it the last few times. It's a movie. It exists. It has some dinos. I don't think it's very fun. David Koepp, who co-wrote the original movie, he shared a screenplay. You could get this off my screen.
There's a reason it's still on.
Oh, because it's gonna go to years afterwards. Yeah, why don't you know what? I'll talk about it afterwards. Why don't you just give your rating real quick?
My rating's a 2.
Perfect. Hell yeah.
It's like it's a vast improvement over the last 2. I'd agree with you there. Which
What a terrible thing though to say a vast
No.
improvement. I give it less than 50%.
Yeah, but like it has its moments. I do want to say there's one actress I haven't given enough props to, and I enjoyed her character, though I feel like she wasn't given enough, and that was Luna Blaze, who plays the older of the 2 daughters.
Yeah.
She had some of the best, most tense moments and was selling them really well.
Yeah.
Which it just sucks that like the daughter who was more interesting.
The daughter had a more interesting like arc that they were trying to build, and then at every turn they're like, all right, this could be interesting. Let's stop it from being interesting.
Yes.
Okay, she befriends a little dinosaur. This is what I was going to complain about. She befriends a dinosaur. It's fine. It's kind of like in the marketing there. Oh, look, you see these tweets from Jurassic World's Twitter account. Like, it's Dolores. I don't know what the fuck Dolores is. It's this tiny little dinosaur that follows them around. Great. They're trying to be quiet. Why is this thing being so loud? And they're not stopping it. Why is it following? Because this little girl has candy. At some point, she's gonna run out of all the candy that she had.
And also, got to point out, in how many Jurassic films have we seen a child, like a baby dinosaur, end up having their parent come in and wreck shop? And
yeah, like at what point, like why not have the? I have questions actually for after we're done recording this. Why not? These are things that may or may not be like spoilerific, but I got to tell you, man, if you're going to see Jurassic World at this point, you're not going for spoilers. You're going because you want to see dinosaurs. Oh, you want to see them kill people, or you want to see them eat them. Guess what? The dino carnage that they do show, which it's fine if it's not a lot because like there's not a big cast, so like
No,
cool, you want to pick your moments. Well, the dino carnage they do show is lame. I don't know how else to describe it. Like it's lame because it's not interestingly filmed. The music doesn't crescendo or work in a way that helps sell the moments. And like for the most part, most of the dino stuff, it's like, oh, you see how they might be attacking someone. Well, it happened off screen, kind of.
Yep, like that's literally what I was about to say. Is you have the first dino kill, especially where it's like, oh, okay, you see the dino crawl, and then all of a sudden you don't really see jack shit.
It's a lot of that. It's like, oh, there's this person here who might be eaten, but like swallowed by a dinosaur, as many do in this series. That's not a spoiler to say that happens. Great, and it's done in like a way where it's just like a cast off real quick. Like I don't know the character's name. They were there for a while, and that's how I feel about this. It's not it's a big monster movie. I think that's the problem. Saying like, oh, it's fine. They're just cannon fodder. Great. It's not a monster movie. It's a dino movie. There's a thing about it where these are people that are supposed to be living in the real world experiencing this. One person is there to actually try and bring that wonder and excitement and try to get us to feel that way. And it doesn't. David Koepp co-wrote the original with Michael Crichton. He comes back to write this. David Koepp is far more miss than hit nowadays.
Yes.
This is firmly in his miss pile. So, Gareth Edwards, I hope you get back with Greg Fraser soon in order to shoot like a movie worth your vision. This ain't it. Mahershala, I'm just glad you got paid, man. You're cool. Oh, one last thing I do want to say. There was a scene that almost seemed really interesting between two humans, and it was a scene between Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, a member from her, crew in the past and whatnot. And
yes,
connecting,
the boat scene, the boat scene.
But when the scene ended, in my head, I'm just like,
You gave us just enough to care, but not enough to really care.
Not even care. The conversation to me, rather than it feeling natural, the way the dialogue was written, so they had to perform it based off of the way it was written. Maybe they could bring something to it, but it was just like, heard about your backstory. How's your backstory treating you today? How about your backstory? Well, my backstory made my backstory get it here, so this is my backstory now based off of that backstory. Great. And with that, Matt, let's wrap up.
You nailed it. That's the sad part. I'm just over here like he is nailing it.
Yeah. You know who didn't nail it? David Kep.
With that, folks, please remember to like and subscribe to everything we do over here at Watt Reel Entertainment. Check out our sister channel, Watt Reel Gaming, as well as our Twitch, which is twitch.tv/WattReelEnt. And this Thursday, yes, this Thursday, Taylor Cleek, one of our business partners over here, is bringing back the wrestling streams. It's the premiere episode of Watt Championship Wrestling. You can go check that out. He tweeted out the card for this event, so it's a nice 10-match card, and it's going to be exciting. I'm very happy that he's doing this again. And yeah, be on the lookout. We got Superman review dropping next week. Reviews from Metropolis should drop tomorrow evening, I think, if I can remember to put this thing up. But yeah, it's gonna be a busy couple weeks, and I just want to say thank you again for Jeff for coming on, doing this review with me. It's always fun talking about this stuff with him, especially when he and I tend to be on the same wavelength. That makes these episodes more fun because if one of us is missing something, the other one is hitting on it, and it's great. Mm-hmm. But with that, folks, signing off, I am Matt. That is Jeff, and this was another Real Review. We'll see you next time.